Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The Golden State Warriors have enjoyed quite a turnaround during the 2024-25 season, as they have now made it all the way to the Western Conference semifinals, where they will square off against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Perhaps the defining moment of the season involved the team's blockbuster trade for Jimmy Butler. After taking down the Houston Rockets in Game 7, Warriors owner Joe Lacob gushed over Butler. The former Miami Heat superstar forced his way out of town ahead of the trade deadline, with Golden State eventually being his landing spot after he initially turned them down. While Butler didn't always star during the regular season, he was fantastic against Houston, averaging 21.4 points, 5.8 assists, and 5.4 rebounds per game in the 5 full contests he played in. There was concern about trading for Butler, but that's not what Lacob is thinking about right now. Yeah, there were concerns about Butler, Lacob said. But you do your analysis, you make your choices, and, yeah, it was a little bit of a risk. But we've got to take risks in this life. And he's worth every freaking penny. That's all I can say. He's fantastic. Butler is a fairly divisive player, but when he's locked in, there aren't many players more impactful than him across the NBA. Not only is Butler one of the best defenders in the league, but he also has shown time and again that when his team needs a bucket, he's the guy who can go and get it. Stephen Curry is great in his own right, but giving him a right-hand man like Butler has made Golden State very dangerous. While their series victory over the Rockets was a bit more difficult than it was initially expected to be, the Warriors got the job done and managed to advance to the next round of the playoffs. They will now take on Butler's old team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you can bet that the star forward is going to be motivated for this series. Game 1 is scheduled to get underway on Tuesday, May 6 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This Warriors' $8 million unsung hero willed his team to second round in Game 7. The Golden State Warriors finished the regular season with a 48-24 record, which was enough to land them in the play-in tournament, where they eventually came out as the second seed. Father Time is catching up to Stephen Curry, so they paired him with Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline in an attempt to bolster Golden State's lineup. Both of these guys are known to elevate their game in the playoffs, so when the Warriors battled against the Rockets in Sunday's Game 7 matchup, everyone was prepared for a masterclass. The Rockets did a great job shutting them both down, limiting Curry to 0 points at half and Jimmy to 20 points. What they did not account for was a Buddy Hield 33-point, 9 three-pointer heater. Hield has not quite found a home yet in the NBA, playing for 5 teams in just 10 years, and was a part of a 6-team trade that sent him to Golden State back in the summer of 2024. This season, Hield averaged just 11.1 points per game, his lowest since his sophomore year in the NBA. The 2024-2025 season was filled with ups and downs for Hield, and while he played in all 82 games, he started in just 22 of them. The guard started the year off hot, but was eventually moved to a limited role off the bench. In Game 6, Hield was held scoreless in 17 minutes, but didn't let it affect him. In the most important game of his life, he stepped up big. He shot 12 of 15 from the field and 9 of 11 from beyond the arc, leading all scorers with 33 points in 37 minutes. Hield and the Warriors will take on Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round of this year's NBA playoffs, with Game 1's tip-off scheduled for Tuesday night. Buddy Hield does his best Stephen Curry impression to keep Warriors season alive. Remember when Buddy Hield's biggest playoff-related thing was how he had played 600 games without making a postseason? I think those days are in the past. Buddy Hield is a complicated player. Actually, not so much. You can kind of break it down like this: he is one of the greatest shooters of all time and can't really help you on defense very much. It seemed like a bunch of average to good teams tried to make the most out of a Buddy Hield-occupied roster spot. Indiana's offense was wild while he was on the team, but when it came time to move on from him, they did so quite quickly. He was played out of the rotation in Philly before eventually showing up for one playoff game one time. But, once again, his faults overtook the fact he can make shots. This year, he found a home with the Golden State Warriors. For now, anyway. He played in all 82 games and averaged 22.7 minutes. He was a true rotation player. He got a shot every game. People believed in Buddy Hield among the Warriors' decision-makers. And it's a good thing they did. He honored their trust in a Game 7 against the Houston Rockets. Buddy Hield went 9 of 11 from 3 to take the Warriors to the second round. Isn't it cool what people can do with their creativity? Art isn't one of hundreds of attempts spit out in response to an AI prompt that somehow looks like the thing it's supposed to be. Art is the process. Art is the work. The whole notion of democratizing art is false with AI is false. It's trying to commodify art. Remove artists, remove the exploration and discovery. Automating the joys of life to be done without you so you can focus on the more important, caustic matters like your online brand and student loan debt. Anyways, Buddy Hield went 9 of 11 from beyond the arc. 12 to 15 in total. Plus 17 in nearly 37 minutes. 2 blocks and a steal. In a game where Stephen Curry took a while to get going, Buddy Hield and Draymond kept the score moving up. As Curry got back in rhythm, Hield's shooting gravity was a simple spacing hack. If he moved, space would open up behind him. With all the movement in Golden State's offense, there's no wonder he's been such a staple of the Warriors' lineups all year. We'll see if Buddy can repeat this type of performance in the next round. They are going up against another stout defense in the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have size, and they have strength. It will be a different type of battle. If he gets the Mike Conley matchup, Hield's movement could be a help. Steve Kerr uses one word to describe Golden State Warriors' win over Houston Rockets. The Golden State Warriors escaped the Houston Rockets in Game 7 of their first-round matchup, setting a date in the conference semifinals against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who cruised past the star-studded, albeit shallow, Los Angeles Lakers. The final 2 games of the series, for both Steve Kerr and Ime Udoka, were defined by Greg Popovich's retirement from the San Antonio Spurs after 29 seasons. Both Kerr and Udoka played under Popovich and credit him for their eventual coaching success. With plenty of reasons to be sentimental, Kerr gave the young Rockets team their flowers. Udoka and Kerr did not play together under Popovich, but both are 2 of the stronger branches on the massive coaching tree, and Kerr has the less experienced head coach's props after the game. "Ime did an amazing job," said Kerr of the young Rockets. "Really, the whole rebuild over the last couple of years has been so impressive. We were lucky to get out of this series. Much respect to the Rockets, their staff, and their organization. They have a great team and had a great season. It's not often that a coach who often preaches about resolve and resilience, like Kerr, to credit luck with the victory, although that word stood out to him." As the Dubs look ahead to Game 1 on Tuesday, the Rockets are expected to have a busy offseason of their own, having already been linked to premier trade candidates like Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Warriors still have a nagging Jonathan Kuminga problem despite toppling Rockets. Does Kerr go back to him in Game 1 against the Timberwolves? Despite appearing in just 43 total minutes across the course of the first 6 games, Jonathan Kuminga was the first player off the bench for Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors in Game 7 against the Houston Rockets at Toyota Center on Sunday. An illness for Gary Payton too opened up an opportunity for Kuminga in the do-or-die game, but again the young forward failed to take advantage as veteran teammate Buddy Hield helped the Warriors advance with a stunning 33-point performance in the 103-89 win. The Warriors remain with a Jonathan Kuminga problem heading into the second round. Having been out of the rotation in 6 of the past 8 games, it was always going to be a tough task for Kuminga to have a positive impact in such a high-stakes environment on the road. That's exactly how it played out, with the 22-year-old recording just 1 rebound and a steal in just over 7 minutes. Kuminga's first real involvement saw him drive confidently to the rim, only to blow an easy layup after a nice pump fake on Steven Adams. He missed the putback attempt, then made a careless turnover as he tried to find Jimmy Butler a few possessions later. Kuminga's second stint in the second half was also error-ridden. A wild, ill-advised three-point attempt wasn't close. A mid-range jump shot at the end of the shot clock was blocked by Tari Eason, and Steven Adams grabbed an offensive rebound over him that led to a three from Jabari Smith Jr. Again, none of this is overly surprising given the difficult situation Kerr and Golden State have put their former 7th overall pick in. It does make it more painful though when you see what Amen Thompson did for the Rockets throughout the series, including threatening to take over in the second half as the 22-year-old went for a team-high 24 points and 9 rebounds. The Warriors once again find themselves in a tough spot with Kuminga entering Game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday. As underwhelming as his minutes were on Sunday, Kerr might have to turn to Kuminga again if Payton remains out, and if he feels he needs to manage the minutes of Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green a little after the veterans played 45 and 40 minutes respectively in Game 7. Golden State are likely to have to find minutes from somewhere, having lent heavily on their starters as the bench combined for just 3 points on Sunday. Whether that's Kuminga or fellow youngsters Moses Moody, Quinton Post and Ergue Santos remains to be seen, but time has again been bought for the enigmatic forward to still make a playoff impact before he hits restricted free agency this offseason. Warriors make official announcement on injury report before Game 1 versus Timberwolves. The Warriors, somehow, managed to survive their opening round series in the Western Conference playoffs against the Rockets, winning in 7 games and avoiding the despair that might have followed if they'd blown a 3-1 series advantage. Though Jimmy Butler's injury to his pelvis after a difficult fall in Game 2 of the series was one of the defining aspects of the matchup against the Warriors, who gutted out a win behind 36 points from Stephen Curry with Butler out for the most part, the Warriors escaped the series unscathed. They will go into Game 1 of their series against the Timberwolves, which begins Tuesday night in Minneapolis, with Butler on hand, and with Curry, who has battled a thumb injury for the past 4 months, still nursing the thumb along. Still, on Monday night, the Warriors had to file their official injury report to the league office, and that report does include Curry. He is listed as available per the NBA, with right thumb splint. Another subplot of the Warriors' series against the Rockets was Houston's attempts to swipe at Curry's thumb when he would shoot. It remains to be seen if Minnesota will try the same thing. Of some concern is the status of Gary Payton too, though. Payton has been dealing with a thumb injury, too, on his left hand, but he missed Game 7 in Houston with a different ailment. Payton was sick on game day and unable to play. He is listed as questionable on the Game 1 injury report, with what the league is calling illness. "He's just sick as a dog," said Kerr on Sunday. "He woke up ill, and didn't go to shoot around, and he hasn't eaten. No way he can play." The rest of the Warriors are ready to go, however, despite just 1 day off between series, and the need to travel from Houston on to Minnesota. Stephen Curry's honest Anthony Edwards statement before Warriors-Timberwolves series. Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors escaped a heartbreaking result. After losing their 3-1 lead and being forced in a Game 7 with the Houston Rockets, the Warriors salvaged a decisive 103-89 victory. Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves are next. The 6-seeded Wolves secured the 4-1 upset over the Los Angeles Lakers in their first-round series. Edwards will be looking to add Curry to his collection of generational legends defeated. The Timberwolves superstar took down Kevin Durant in last year's NBA playoffs. This season, it was LeBron James. The only member left of those generation-defining superstars is Curry. The Warriors' point guard shared his honest thoughts in the lead-up to the matchup. Curry reveals honest admission on Edwards. Edwards averaged 26.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 1.2 steals in the series win over the Lakers. The athletic superstar shot 42% from the field, 33.3% from beyond the arc, and 77.4% from the free throw line. Curry knows that Edwards is playing with supreme confidence. "We know they had their run last year and they're a new look with Julius Randle. But Edwards is the same man who's trying to take strides with every opportunity he gets. I guess it's gonna be a tough challenge." "Why?"